Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Car Audio.etc. Today I'm quite excited because for the first time ever I'm going to be term-labbing my car. I recently discovered that my work does have an old Term-Lab kit. It was, sitting away in storage back from probably the 90s or something. The way you know it's an old kit, I had to load it onto Grant's old computer which runs Windows XP. It wouldn't even run on my old laptop which is on Windows Vista. So basically, since this is my first time ever doing it, all I'm gonna do is, a couple of quick tests. I'm going to try it with the microphone relatively about sort of here on the windscreen passenger side and also down in the kick panel. My box in my car, as you may be aware, is a sealed box with two 15s in it. So it's not going to be pushing any, absolutely insane numbers because it doesn't have a port. But the reason I went for sealed and not ported is because I do mainly want to listen to music to it and actually have some good sounds. I prefer the more linear graph. So this is my box. Get rid of that rug. So it's just two Rockford Fosgate P3 15s, wired and parallel to 1 ohm on a Rockford Fosgate P1000 X1BD. In fact, I think that might be the box for it just there. And in a sealed enclosure. So that being said, because my box isn't really tuned to any specific frequency, I'm not really sure what frequencies to run on it. So what I'm going to do is run some test tones through it, see what numbers or what frequencies spike the SPL a wee bit, and assume them to be my resonant frequencies. And then after that, I'll do a few surrounding frequencies at much higher volume and see what numbers I can pull in both different positions on the car. I've just been playing some music, in it with the engine off at the moment, just to get the speakers nice and sort of warmed up before I absolutely thrash them. So positioning wise, I'm going to use these little templates that were in our Term-Lab box. We used to use these back in the day for when we did SPL drags, apparently, just to make sure that all the, for every different car, the meters were positioned in the same place. It's around about a foot long, so all I'm going to do is position it ideally about a foot in from the outside of the car and then a foot up from the bottom of the dash. It'll end up around here. It's not going to be absolutely perfect, but it will give me some numbers that I'm interested in. And I'm also going to play some music as well, like get a bit more of a dynamic sound, maybe some and see what sort of numbers I can pull with that. Okay, so where I'm at now, I've got the Term-Lab wired up. It's running, it's detecting some SPL as we speak. There's nothing playing at the moment, but basically I'm at a setup point where I'm ready to start doing some stuff. What I did was, first thing I did was I disconnected my subs to see where my head unit clipped at using the clipping detection on the Rockford Fosgate amp, and I found that my head unit clips at 34 out of 40. So I'll be using 33 as my volume to try and get my maximum number. But what I need to do now is skip through some tracks and try and find what my resonant frequency is going to be in this vehicle. So I'm just going to watch the meter up on the board and also use my ears to try and guess what frequency sounds louder. The CD I've got in here ranges from like sort of 20 hertz all the way up to 80 or 100 or so, and I'm just going to play them through and see what one pops the loudest, and we'll watch the meter and see what happens. I'm not going to play it on its absolute loudest, just because I need to be able to concentrate. I'll do that after. Okay, so the Term-Lab's stuck up there, should stay. Okay, so what we found from that was that 40 hertz was pretty much the resonant frequency of those subs in that box in this vehicle. It definitely had that highest SPL rating and it sounded quite loud to me, and that's just on 15 out of 40, and I'm going to take this up to about 33 out of 40 for my actual SPL test. I need to set it up so I only play the track once. I don't want to hurt my subs, obviously. So what I'm going to do now is skip it all the way back to 40. I'm going to put it on repeat, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this remote, just check that this does work. Cool, so that's cool. I can press play from outside the vehicle and turn the volume up and see what we get. Okay, so this is it, guys. This is the official first ever time I have term-labbed my vehicle. About to see what sort of range, what sort of frequency, or sorry, SPL, what SPL we can get at 40 Hertz in my car. I think I will, that was running it with the engine off, so the alternator wasn't going, it's just running straight off the battery. I did give it a fresh charge. So what I think I'll do is I'll start the engine, so we're running 14 volts. Okay, so I've got my camera set up to record my SPL rating. I've got this set to peak hold, so that we know, so this will refresh a bit slower, we'll be able to see some actual ratings and see what the maximum was. Okay, 33, so this is the maximum volume this head unit will go to before it clips, at 40 Hertz. Everything smells good, so that's fine. I'm going to give it one more go, and I want to watch these, see how much they're moving. Man, of course, Jesus, those things were moving. This is all quite exciting for me just because I've never actually, pushed my subs to their absolute limit to know what it is they can do. I'm a little bit protective of them, so I don't like to, absolutely thrash them. But it's really cool for me now to know that I can, get nearly 140 decibels out of my car just for my own install. Again, I'd probably be getting a bit more SPL if I had done a not a sealed enclosure, a ported enclosure. But again, the reason I went sealed is because I like my music, so I like that linear sort of sound, and I just prefer it that way. With a port, you can be listening to a song and then along comes a certain bass note and then it's like much louder, and it just kind of takes away the whole clean side of audio things. So my system is designed for music and not SPL. So nearly 140 decibels, I'm quite happy. What I'm going to try now is actually play some music at that volume and see what we get out of that, because it's going to be a more dynamic sort of sound. I've got a few songs lined up that I know really well in my car, and we'll see what they do. Okay, so the song I'm going to play first is Centipede by Knife Party. I just know for a fact that this has a really heavy bass note in my car, it works really well. It's obviously quite a loud song just with all the distortion and stuff in the song, not because of my bad file or anything like that. So it'll be quite loud in here. I'm going to hold the camera in the demo and see what we get. I've still got my digital camera up there videoing the Term-Lab monitor, so we'll see what we can pull out of that. I might actually reset it. Still got the engine running. I'm just going to click reset display. And we'll see what we get.
All centipedes share their territories with tarantulas. Despite its impressive length, it's a nimble navigator, and some can be highly venomous. As quick as lightning, just like the tarantula it's killing, the centipede has two curved, hollow fangs which inject paralyzing venom. Even tarantulas aren't immune from an ambush. This centipede is a predator. Centipede.
Oh my god, my ears are ringing. I cannot sit in that for too long, that is insane. Looks like we got 136.2. This thing's going. Oh my god, okay. I'm gonna let those speakers cool down a wee bit. That is ridiculously loud. I can't believe how loud it is when I actually open the door and it all just comes funneling out at you. 136.7 is what we achieved on the SPL side of things for a dynamic sort of sound with music playing. That's pretty good, I think. You could not sit in, I mean, I'm nowhere near as big as some of the sound systems they do in America, Steve Mead, all that sort of stuff, but that's just ridiculous. I can't believe I can achieve that sort of thing just with my own, you know, sort of setup. So what I'm going to do now is actually turn the engine off, and I'm going to let the speakers play for another sort of 5 or 10 minutes while they, you know, cool themselves down a bit. I just realized something when I was doing my initial testing to figure out what frequency my car resonates at. I had my speakers, even at first I tried just high passing my speakers as much as I could. In the end I decided to unplug the RCAs. I'm so glad that I forgot that I had the speakers high passed up to like 200 hertz or something, because I plugged them back in just now and shit, they just went crazy, and that was at 200 hertz plus. So if they had been, you know, down to 80 hertz or below where I had them at, I might have broken something, who knows. So I just realized that I said earlier I was going to also test it in the kick panel, which I have forgotten to do. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put the mic down in the passenger's kick panel and just do a real quick burp on the 40 hertz test tone and see if that at 33 and see if I get anything more than what I did last time. And then that'll be my final test. Let's see what we get. That was just one burp. One burst of 40 hertz. Oh, 139.8. So close. I actually almost want to try and get 140 now. Just before I was on 137 and on 138.7, and I actually didn't care that much that I didn't make it to 140, but now 0.2 decibels away, I'm going to try, like, I might try going up just a couple of notches on the, actually I know what to do, I can turn my sub channel up. That was with my sub level on 7. You can go to 10. Okay, fingers crossed. $139.8, not much difference. Didn't have any change. Just check the mic is still in place. Yep. I think we all know that SPL is one of the hardest things to achieve that little bit more in. Like, the higher up you go, the harder it becomes to achieve, you know, 0.1 more decibels. I think because I'm not a huge SPL freak or anything like that, and I don't have a port, I'm going to settle with 139.8. And that's in the kick panel, so obviously that's an uncertified run. Well, not SPL competition rules anyway. I'm going to settle with that. I'm real happy. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video. I've certainly enjoyed making it. Really proud of what I've done. Check out my previous video with the full layout of my full rundown of the install and how I've done things. Make sure to check out my Facebook page. I've got lots more photos of other installs I've done, you know, for customers on there, my car, things like that. If you just go to Facebook and search Car Audio.etc, spelled ETC, you'll find it there, heaps of photos. And yeah, again guys, thanks for watching this video.